Good morning, my practical rebels. Welcome to your Tuesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. And today, again, we have another deck that we haven't seen in a while. The universe is trotting out all of the decks that we haven't attended to recently. So I'm excited about this card because I really like this deck. It's a very nice, attractive deck. Good morning, Lucy. Looks like someone else has popped on. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. So Beth, good morning, Beth. Glad you are here from the Yoop. So yes, thank you for the sunshine. It's supposed to be a beautiful day here today, and I'm hoping that much of the, good morning, Deb. Good morning, Carolyn. That much of the snow actually melts today. Yesterday, a whole lot of it. Good morning, Cindy. A whole lot of it disappeared. Thank you. But we had quite the mud bog, which of course made TJ happy because he's just like a little boy, likes to punch in the mud. So anyway, I wanted to show you the bag that this card deck comes in. I just think this is such a neat idea. Instead of putting it in a box, good morning, Judy, they put it in a pretty little bag. So just wanted to share that with you. We have a card from the Virtues Reflection cards by the Virtues Project. And it says, it's a set of 100 contemplative cards to help you awaken your spirit and live by your deepest values. Live by your deepest values. And one of the things that we did in the 4-day event that I participated in recently was discern our values. What's most important to us? Oh, more snow, huh? Oh, joy. Nature of spring, I guess. I mean, we had a foot of snow, and it's been melting pretty regularly, so I'm more than happy to have it toddle on its way. The snow toddle? Anyway, you get the drift. I like our card too because it has a lighthouse on it, and for many, many years when I owned my mental health clinic, the lighthouse was our logo, and we had a beautiful pencil drawing of a lighthouse that was our logo. So here's our lighthouse, and our word is wisdom. Wisdom. And there is a phrase in here, a little, that I want to spend time on. So I want to read this, and then we'll jump into that little section that just caught my attention and see where we go with it. Because I think it's a beautiful benchmark against which to weigh our decision making. So wisdom. Let's take some nice deep breaths. Good morning, Linda. Welcome. Glad you're here. Just kind of opening ourselves to receiving. Bringing our divine feminine on board today. And today, I think I'm actually going to have time to have a coffee date with me. How wonderful is that? Take some time. Maybe I'll take my journal along and just go sit there and be for a while. I think that will be lovely. All right. Wisdom. Wisdom is the guardian of our choices. It helps us to discern the right path at the right moment. It gives us clarity of thought and deeper understanding. We use our best judgment, resisting the pull of impulse and desire. Wisdom gives us the maturity and patience to make sustainable decisions. We seek knowledge. I will. We seek knowledge, enter reflection, and open ourselves to inspiration. Now, right there, that sentence tells you this needs an investment of time. It doesn't have to be a ton of time, but if we are going to seek knowledge, enter reflection, and open ourselves to inspiration, we're going to need a little bit of time. Are you willing to grant that to yourself? Are you willing to give yourself that gift of time? All right? Like my coffee date, that will be one of them. We consider carefully, then act confidently. Wisdom takes us beyond thought to a deeper knowing. Wisdom grounds us in grace. And that deeper knowing, that is a huge discernment point. We tend to want to try to fool ourselves. Well, yeah, I think this is the right path, when on a deeper level. We know, nope, that's not it. That's the fun bells and whistles glitzy path, but it's not the path we're meant to be walking. So our quote comes from Proverbs 8:12-14. I, wisdom, am the mistress of discretion, the inventor of lucidity of thought. Good advice and sound judgment belong to me. Perception, strength. So here are the I statements that go along with the practice of wisdom. And if one of these grabs you, write it down and, good, I'm glad it's impeccable timing. That's how the universe does this stuff, right? If we try to rush things and take something in before it's ready, that doesn't work. It's like picking unripe fruit. And if we wait too long, by the time we are willing to pick it, it's gotten mushy, it's rotting. So timing is everything, and divine timing will not lead us astray. It will not, it will not, it will not. So here are the I statements. If one of them grabs you, pick it up for your mantra for the day. I make discerning choices. And I'll repeat them, so if you want to write them down, you can. I make discerning choices. I resist distracting impulses. And my thing with that would be, rather than doing battle with them, rather than fighting them, notice them, recognize them, call them out for what they are. Hello, you're a distraction, and let it drift on through. I wouldn't fight it, because that, what we resist persists. So acknowledge it, call it out for what it is, and let it float on through. So that's distracting impulses. Label them for what they are. I listen to my better judgment. How many times have we said to ourselves, I knew I shouldn't have done that? Yep, I listen to my better judgment. I reflect before I act. Now on that one, there are those people who reflect and reflect and reflect and reflect and reflect, and they use it as a way to avoid taking the next step. All right. And then there are those of us who leap and then look. But again, when you're following intuition, sometimes that leap and then look isn't a bad method. You don't want to get into that paralysis of analysis where you're thinking, and not doing anything. All right. But I reflect before I act. A little bit of reflection. Is this what I'm being guided to do? Yes, do it. I seek spiritual guidance. And that can come from a variety of places. Children are great spiritual guides. All right? Sometimes it doesn't have to be a big fancy church person. It can be a kid. It can be your dog. Your dog can give you spiritual guidance. There is spiritual guidance to be had everywhere. And know that within you, you have everything you need. So as you begin to practice with that and trust that, you will find that you are a beautiful spiritual guide for yourself. I trust my deepest truth. I trust my deepest truth. I am thankful for the gift of wisdom. It is a messenger of my soul. It is a messenger of my soul. Gotcha. Yes, and the extremes, if we go back to that card that we had the other day, it was talking about moderation. And moderation can be a beautiful practice in our lives. If you tend to be one of those people who's at one end of the continuum and then at the other end, practicing the moderation may be helpful. So if your inclination is to go at something a 10, maybe moderation says, ratchet it back to an 8, and let's see what happens with that first. You can always kick it up a notch, right? So the words that grabbed me out of here that I want us to mess around with today are make sustainable decisions. Sustainable. I love that word right there. Make sustainable decisions. So when you think about something, I'm going to use an extreme example here, but I've been working with someone who is a compulsive gambler. And when she gets into difficulty with paying her bills, covering her rent, etc., gambling is often the excuse she uses to head for the casino. Well, I've got to cover this, and I know I can win, blah, blah, blah. This idea of sustainable decisions, I think, is useful here. Can you sustain that on a long-term level? The thing that happens with gambling is it plays off of our very human approach to life. When I'm going to use the vending machine example. Put our money in the vending machine, hit the button, we get what we want. Put our money in the vending machine, hit the button, we get what we want. Predictable. 100% of the time, we get what we want. If we put our money in the vending machine and we hit the button and we don't get what we want, what do? We escalate our behavior. We shake the machine, we hit the coin return, we pound on things. Sometimes we tip it over on ourselves. We escalate our behavior. Same with gambling. Gambling, what it is it's a lean schedule of reinforcement. It is not every time I put my coin in and pull the arm, I get money. That's not how that thing works, right? You put your money in 10 times and then it pays something out. Put your money in 5 more times and it pays something out. Put your money in 25 times and it's still not paying out. But you keep going because you just know on some level there's that point out there where it's going to pay off. Right? Do you have any idea how far down the road that is? No. Do casinos set up machines so that they lose money? No. They will set up a machine so that every once in a while it dumps a boatload on somebody and everybody in the casino on all those other machines is like, okay, we're all on a streak now, let's go. The amount of money that flows in is disproportionate to the amount of money that ever comes back out. Think about that. Based on what comes in, they're paying all their workers. They're paying the light bill. They're paying all of their expenses. And then once in a while, someone hits. So that behavior, gambling to cover your expenses, is not a sustainable choice. It is not a wise choice. Again, with someone who's struggling with any kind of an addiction, gambling being one of them, there is an internal pull. There's something out of alignment that has to be addressed. Usually gambling isn't about gambling. The problem isn't the gambling. That's the symptom of the problem, all right? There's stuff underneath, okay? So that's the stuff that has to be addressed. So making sustainable decisions can include realizing this thing is out of hand, whatever it is. You're smoking pot, you're drinking, you're gambling, you're having affairs, you're whatever, all kinds of stuff. Pretty much anything. You're spending way too many hours on social media. It was interesting today. I grabbed the newspaper off the front porch, and usually I take it out of the bag and lay it there so my dad can read the paper with his breakfast. Today he took off at 5:45 to head for my sister's house to visit her for a couple of days. But as I was reading, I just read section A, so the front page and the first section of the paper. There were at least 5 references to things regarding social media that were difficult. So the protests over the potential for banning TikTok somewhere, the issues around Facebook with regard to something. I mean, it was all this stuff related to social media. And I was thinking, 15 years ago, there would not be 5 articles on stuff related to social media in the first section of the newspaper. How weird is this? So, social media can be another one of those things that we need to make sustainable decisions about. How do we do that? Social media is kind of like, from my era as a kid or a young adult, television. Oh, I'm just going to watch this one show and then I'll turn it off and I'll go do whatever. And 5 shows later, you're still sitting there. Okay? Social media is the same way. It sucks you in and keeps you going, and you look down and it's like, oh my God, an hour has gone past. That's an hour of your life you're not going to get back. And it's an hour of living a virtual life. That's not real life. What comes at you through that feed is heavily curated. Heavily curated. In fact, I'm thinking of actually making a little video for all of you to kind of help me promote my 12-session coaching package, because I know that because of Facebook's algorithm, because of emails, bulk email bias. So Gmail, for one, is notorious for, on the front end, even if you whitelist things, editing out bulk emails that come in. And a lot of people don't ever go look in their spam. They just don't. I'm one of them. So if you don't hear back from me and you sent me something for bulk email, just, rattle my cage so I know it came, because I'll go look in my spam and it might be there. Probably is there. But I was going to ask people to help me get the word out about that. Here's the thing. Again, I feel like people are ripe right now for making changes in their lives. We know this is a huge portal for change to occur. Human beings are up-leveling. We're done with this level of functioning, right? The same way that the quote goes that you're not going to solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. We are now up-leveling our consciousness. What's that going to bring? A whole new life, but also new problems. And then we'll need to up-level again. People are ready to up-level. Not everybody, but a lot. And if they don't know I exist, if they don't know that I'm offering these sessions as a way to dig in, as I look at, a lot of people have a very bad taste in their mouth about marketing and sales. I do not. Are there slimy salespeople? Yes. Is sales itself slimy? No. It's how we let people know that we have something they may need. There's no yuck in that. Here, I have this thing. Would you like it? If someone says no, am I going to hassle them? No, that's fine. I do the flight attendant method. Would you like coffee, tea, or soda? Would you like some peanuts? No and no. I don't run to the corner of the galley in the airplane and cry because this person didn't want anything. I move to the next aisle. Would you like some coffee, tea, peanuts, blah, blah? You just keep asking. You just keep putting it out there. You just keep offering. If someone wants it, great. You've got a relationship started. If they're not interested, I move on. I don't harass people about it. I may offer a couple of times, because one of the things I know, it used to be on average, it took 7 times of putting yourself in front of somebody for them to say, yes, I'm ready to buy. Now it's vastly higher than that, I think, as a direct result of social media. We're so inundated with stuff that we tend to say no to everything frequently, over time. So now it takes many more times of, are you interested now? Would you be interested now? Do I want to harass people? No. But a friend of mine and I have gone around and around and around on this, because I was trained by Mary Kay Ash. Her philosophy was, we have a wonderful product. Women, now men too, can benefit from this wonderful product. If you don't let them know you're out there, they're being deprived of something they could greatly benefit from. So offer. And don't be a pest, but offer again down the road. Because if it's going to take 7 times or more for someone to say, yeah, I need that now, you need to be present. Be present, okay? Again, and there are the salespeople, and I will tell you, they are successful. They may show up at your doorstep every day for 10 days, whatever. Do you need me now? Do you need me now? Do you need me now? And oftentimes people will get frustrated and go, fine, I'll take it. They got a sale, but at what cost? I personally would rather do I have this thing. Are you interested? No. Okay if I check back with you in 3 months or 6 months or 12 months or whatever I think is a reasonable amount. And if they say yes, then I will follow up. I will follow up and say, hey, wondering if you're interested now. So for my coaching sales, I only do them twice a year, Black Friday and my birthday. So I figure twice a year is reasonable enough to check in with people. If you think you know somebody who might be interested in making a change now, float my stuff to them. That'd be awesome. I always say that with a lot of the emails that I send out. There's a line in there. If you know of someone that you think would love what this email is about, feel free to pass it on. How else are we going to get the information? I personally love it. Cindy has sent me a bunch of stuff that's been very useful. I personally love it when people send me things. My sister Vicky, she and I, oftentimes she'll send me something and I'll send, why did you send me this? And then she'll explain why she sent it to me, and then I get it. But sometimes it's the weirdest shit. And I'm like, I have no idea why she sent this to me. So, back to sustainable decisions. How do you like that? Did you follow it with me when I trailed off on Ooh Shiny? So, sustainable decisions. Can you make that a benchmark for yourself? When you are thinking about making a decision, can you run it up against that benchmark of, is this a sustainable decision? Can I keep this thing going? Do I have the resources I need to make this decision in the first place? So for example, if it's a decision like, I'm going to go gamble away the rent money, do I have the resources to do that? My rule of thumb for gambling, I'm not a gambler, I've probably plugged 20 bucks into a machine once or twice, is this money I'm willing to lose? Is this money I can afford to lose? If yes, then I can gamble it. If it's the rent money, oh hell no, that's not okay. So, is this a sustainable decision? Can you think of a way for yourself that you could add that benchmark, add that question to your decision-making process? And for most of us, we're going to say, process? We're supposed to have a process? You have a subconscious process. You may not even know what's in there in terms of how you make decisions. Oftentimes, it's based on, how does it make me feel? That's why people are consumers and buy so much stuff. There is this really cool commercial. It's not a commercial. It's a spoof on a commercial that is ripping on one of the oil companies, and it's all these beautiful pictures of butterflies and dads running through the field with their children on their shoulders and all of this stuff, and there's this lovely lilting female voice, and she's saying things like, we don't give a shit about you, but we're going to put up these pretty pictures so that you have fond connections to us as an oil company, blah, blah, blah. It's really a powerful... And of course, as soon as I got rid of the alarm, then it messes up the video. But anyway, and I'm yakking pretty long here. I've got a Zoom in 10 minutes. Okay, so anyway, I want you to have that discernment. I want you to have that, is this sustainable? Can I carry this on into my future? Do I have the resources I need to make this decision? Practice with it. Let's see what you end up with. I need to quit pontificating or I'm going to be late for my meeting because I haven't even had breakfast yet. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including making sustainable decisions. Bye.